Chapter 1: Four-leaf clovers and mashed potatoes. Some people have good luck. Some people have bad luck. And then there is me. I never thought about luck until I realized I had none. Once I wished for bad luck because everyone knows that bad luck eventually turns good. If you have absolutely no luck, this never happens. 6 months ago, my life was pretty normal, exactly how I liked it. I lived on 5th Street in Philadelphia with my parents, my brother, and my 2 sisters. We lived in a 2-family house, and my grandparents lived downstairs. I was the smallest kid in my 5th grade class, but it never mattered. I was the best pitcher in the Little League, and I knew what team I would play on until I turned 18 years old. I had a routine, and more importantly, I liked my routine. Everything was good. Then came St. Patrick's Day. I thought I knew exactly how my day would go. Our house would be decorated with wall-to-wall clovers and dinner would be green. My mom taught kindergarten, and every activity she did at school, she did at home. At 6 o'clock, my father would come home, see the clover-covered house, and shake his head. At 6:15, we would sit down to dinner. After our key lime pie, I would finish my homework, play some games, watch television, and go to sleep. But this year was different. When my father came home from work, he was smiling and walked right past the clovers without shaking his head. He went straight to the kitchen, picked up my mother, and gave her a big kiss. I should have known that this meant trouble. My dad was a produce manager at the Fresh Market grocery store, and he never met a fruit or vegetable he didn't like. He grew up in South Philadelphia, and, like me, he had a routine that he liked. I couldn't imagine what his big news would be, but I was sure it was harmless. Maybe he discovered a new variety of apple. "What's up?" asked my mom. "I have some news that will change the rest of our lives." I remember thinking that this was too big to be a new apple. It must have been a new type of lettuce. While my mom added green food coloring to the mashed potatoes, my dad paced the kitchen floor. I felt like a spectator at a tennis match. I tried to catch his eye, thinking he might tell me his news first. After 5 minutes and a sore neck, I still knew nothing. My brother, Timmy, walked into the kitchen first. He was 9 years old, and he did everything I did. He was worse than a shadow. At least you can lose a shadow in the dark. Timmy was never more than 2 steps behind me, day and night. 2 minutes later, Maggie strolled in with her usual companions, 3 rag dolls that, as my grandmother says, have seen better days. It was easy to know where Maggie was in the house. She talked to imaginary friends, and she had peanut butter breath. She was 4 years old and more fun to watch than to play with. My mom returned carrying Emma, my 2-year-old sister. While it was funny to watch Maggie talk to herself, it was funnier to talk to Emma. By the time she was speaking in sentences, I had found a new hobby, teaching her new words to songs and nursery rhymes. As my mom strapped her to her high chair, she started to sing my latest creation. "Whoa, whoa, whoa, your goat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 hey, who the heck is merrily? Life is buttercream." My mom raised one eyebrow and looked at me. She obviously didn't appreciate my creativity, even though she's the one that encourages me to use my imagination. There's just no pleasing some people. We sat at the table watching my mom bring in our dinner. One dish was greener than the next. We had green ham, green mashed potatoes, green buttered noodles, and green peas. She poured everyone a glass of green lemonade and held up her glass. It was time for her St. Patrick's Day toast. We raised our glasses and sippy cups. "May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall slowly onto your fields. Cheers!" And with that, the official St. Patrick's Day dinner began. Except for my mom, I doubt any of us understood what she said, but it seemed to make her happy. She began filling our plates, and for a brief moment, she forgot all about my father's big news. "Well," he began, "I have some big news for the Abruzzi family. Anyone interested?" "Oh, that's right, kids. Your father has A surprise for us. Go ahead, honey. Except for the sounds of my mom's Irish CD playing When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, the kitchen became very quiet. You know how we've always talked about moving out of the city? Well, I found a great house in the country with a big yard. I left work yesterday and went to see it. The owners are moving to California, so I made an offer. Suddenly, not one Irish eye was smiling. Everyone just stared at my dad. For the first time in my life, my mom was speechless. This was a first. I know that this is probably a shock, he continued, but I just know you'll fall in love with the house and the neighborhood when you see it. It was too early to be an April Fool's joke, but I was still waiting for the punchline. Silence. No one moved or spoke a word. We all looked like a display from the wax museum. Then, my mom asked the question we all wanted to ask. Are you serious? Sure, I'm serious. Just think about it. We always talked about raising the kids in the country, and now it can happen. We're moving to another country? Timmy asked. Not another country, my dad laughed. To the country, out of the city, where there's room to play. I finally found the words I was looking for, and before I could stop them, they started coming out. You mean you want us to move to another neighborhood so we'll have more room to play? That's ridiculous. We have plenty of room right here. And what about my friends? How far will I have to ride my bike to hang out with my friends? Nick, my dad said, looking at me in the eye, there are no country houses in the city. We'd be leaving Philadelphia. Leaving Philadelphia? I yelled. Nick, we'd be moving to New Jersey. New Jersey? I gasped in a panic. My friends aren't allowed to ride their bikes over the Ben Franklin Bridge. How will I see my friends? As the tension grew, I noticed my mom from out of the corner of my eye. I realized that she hadn't said anything yet. While everyone had at least blinked by now, my mom looked like one of the ice sculptures at Cousin Rosalie's wedding. It only took a few seconds before my father noticed this too. Honey, you haven't said anything yet. What do you think? You made an offer without asking me? Now he did it. I suddenly felt a sigh of relief shoot through my body. There was no way we would move now. If there was one thing my mom hated, it was when my dad made a decision without asking her. The last time he made a decision without her was when we came home with golf wallpaper. Just like she made him return the wallpaper, she would make him return the house. This was a huge mistake, and I could think of no way for him to get out of it. Hopefully, he had the receipt. Erin, I told the owners that my offer would be contingent upon your approval. I wasn't trying to exclude you, honey. I just wanted to give you the surprise of your life. Whoa, he did it. He got around the we make decisions together rule by using the surprise of your life trick. Surely, my mom was too clever to fall for that line. All right, give me a second here, she said, suddenly rubbing her forehead. This is definitely the biggest shock of my life. I'll tell you what, my dad said. After dinner, we'll take a ride to the house and you can check it out yourself. As long as we're not locked into buying this house, it wouldn't hurt to take a look at it. But I'm not making any promises, said my mom. And that was that.